Smoke until the stupid state, stay until it's late. Sweet like chocolate cake, tart just like the shit I roll off paper plates. Search for sweet escape because inside I feel I'm dying slow. I tell you all that.
What is happening, my dogs? My name is Madison and I'm the auction dog, and today we're on another rescue mission. We're saving an old bird that's been up to roost for the last probably 3 or 4 years. And I realized quickly as I was editing this video that I didn't really film a very good intro for this car, or for this video entirely, and me going to get in the car. And so I just kind of wanted to quickly give you guys a little rundown before we hop right into the video of me kind of just trying to get this thing running and get it fixed up. But I was on Facebook Marketplace trolling one night. I found a really good deal on a nice old car from the 90s, and the money was right, and it actually ended up being 10 minutes from my house. So I drove over there. I pretty much begged the guy. I was like, look, I live 5 minutes from you. I will come in the morning. I will give you your asking price. No questions asked. And that's exactly, he was like, all right, you know, don't BS me, and that's pretty much how it went. So I got the money out of the bank the next morning, drove over to this house, kind of looked the car over briefly, and then that's when the video picks up. Right after I struck the deal with this lady, and then went back outside and kind of just started trying to get it going. I tried to drive this thing out of the backyard that day, and this is kind of how the whole thing progressed. So let's hop right into it. Look at this thing, man. There she is. In all of its glory. Freaking A. Got a white on red. Oh, put this shit down. Got a white on red. 1993, which is the last year the Fox body was ever produced. Mustang Fox body, but it's the 2.3 liter Lima motor. So unfortunately it's got the, I'll go into that in a little bit, but it does have the 2.3 in it, which is slightly disappointing, but not the worst thing in the world. And honestly, the car is really clean overall. 83,000 original miles. Everything is as it should. It ran when it was parked back here, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And that's when I came into the picture, you know. This car's been in this family for almost freaking 20 years, you know, and I'm stoked that I got to take it home. So, I mean, the only little bits of rust that it has is right over there in the hatch right there. Otherwise, the car's clean. The underside of it's mint, and that's why I think this is, I'm gonna get it running and get it driving. I'm gonna get it out of here. But I think that this car would be a good base for somebody to start building, just simply because of the fact that it's relatively rust-free. You know, like look at all the corners of everything. Everything's really nice. Everything's real nice. And it's got so, no, I'm gonna get into that too in a second, but everything is really nice overall. We are missing, these 2 front tires are really bad. One of the lenses for the headlights came off. And there's your 2.3. So, here, let me put this freaking hood prop up. So, plan of attack in this so plan of attack is to get this freaking car out of this backyard. I'm only like maybe 10 minutes from my house, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna try to get this thing running and drive it there, at least. It hasn't ran in a few years, and I know it's probably gonna be a challenge, but I just want to get it up and get it going. The oil looks really good. Gas doesn't smell like it's super turned, but I do have some fresh gas, and I also got this transfer pump and a new can there. So I'm gonna try to get that stuff out of there too. And other than that, what else am I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna pull the spark plugs out and try to put some Marvel Mystery Oil in there just to get the cylinders lubricated before I try to turn it over. The only thing I did do here was I put a little bit of power to the cables that connect to the battery with my jump box. And when I did come and initially look at the car, just to make, and I just touched it just to see if it would turn or not, because I want to make sure the motor wasn't locked up, and it isn't. It spins freely. And it sounded, I didn't even let it go one full turn because I want to make sure that I lubricate everything before I do all that. And yeah, that's where we're at with it right now. So today I'm going to try to get some of this gas out of here, put the fresh gas in here, put the Marvel Mystery Oil in the motor, and yeah, put the battery in there and just try to crank it and see what happens. Word on the street was that this thing ran when it was parked. It was driven back here, parked, and she stopped driving it, got a new car. And I understand why. You know, I get it. It's an older car. It's got 105 horsepower. It's not the fastest thing in the world. It's not very fun. You know, or maybe she just kind of outgrew it. So I get it. But either way, I can't wait to get this thing started. I just want to hear it crank today. That's the main goal. I lost my freaking sunglasses, so if you see me going like this a lot, that's probably why, because I have blue eyes and I can't freaking see in the sunshine, I swear to God. And whenever there's white cars or like anything really reflective, it just beats me up bad. So yeah, let's get to work. Freaking A. All right, so I'm working in the engine bay right now. I took the intake tube off, And then I used this tube and just kind of blew out all of the freaking spark plug holes because they were all full of crap. Like you can see all the dirt and stuff in here. I just tried to make it clean. It's funny that this is the same engine as the Ford Pinto, you know? That's where it originally came from. And it was used in a lot of the Rangers and stuff too, but the 2.3, that's not the, you know, the best motor in the world, but they're relatively reliable, so I'll accept that. So I'm gonna go through and take each spark plug out, and then I'm gonna funnel in some Marvel mystery oil, just like a freaking little bit in each one, you know? And really, the only point in doing that, I mean, you don't have to necessarily do that, but the motor hasn't been started in 2 years. And I probably could have just cranked it, and some people would, but you gotta shoot some lubrication down in the cylinders to make sure you don't score anything. Because when the rotating assembly will start to move, you know, you may score a piston wall. And who wants to do that? You know what I'm saying? You score a sleeve and it's like you got a problem then. And if I could do anything, you know, to try to make sure that this thing starts and doesn't have any issues moving forward, that's going to be on the list. So I'm going to pull, and this is actually, so this motor's kind of weird. And I didn't know this. I had to do some research about it. But it's called a waste spark system. So there's actually 8 plugs. There's 2 for each cylinder, and then there's 2 different, you know, ignition coils. And it's kind of odd, yeah, if you think about it. I guess it's for efficiency and for power, like a reduced or increased power. And maybe it does work better, maybe it doesn't, but either way, I initially was like looking over here, I'm like, shit, dude, getting those spark plugs out on this side are gonna be a bitch. I gotta pull this whole intake apart, and just, I don't wanna do all that. But then I look over here, I'm like, wow, there's a whole nother set of spark plugs right there, dude, nice and easily accessible, right above the exhaust manifold. So I'm gonna take all 4 of those out, shoot some mystery oil in there, and then I gotta go and get a new set of spark plug wires. That the AutoZone near me has them for 31 bucks. And it's because these leads kind of pulled out when I pulled the wires off, but I don't really care. I need to replace them anyways, you know, just to try to make sure it runs right. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. After this is complete and I put the spark plugs back in, I'm gonna come back over here, and I can't get my freaking siphon, I can't get the tube into the gas tank to get the gas out of there, because it's got 3/4 of a tank of gas in there, which could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. Really, when you find a lot of gas in the tanks, obviously the gas turns and it's no longer flammable, which this one doesn't smell too bad actually, and it doesn't smell like it has water in it. And but when there is fuel in the tank like that, it prevents it from rusting a lot of times, or it can really tarnish everything. It's a give or take, you know, it depends on how long it's been in there and everything else. But when the tank is full like that, it does prevent the tank from rusting, which is important, because freaking A, that sucks when you have to deal with that. This one doesn't look too bad though. Actually, it's pretty much right here. So I took those screws out of the fuel neck over here, and it's right there, basically. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm gonna pull that whole thing apart, just kind of take the neck off there, and I'm gonna stick the tube in there and siphon out as much gas as I possibly can. I brought a couple gallons of fresh, and yeah, I'll probably when I go back to AutoZone, I'll probably bring a few more gallons of fresh too. But I'm gonna try to get this thing started today. I really do think that it's gonna crank, honestly, because when I put power to it, the car didn't burn down. A, B, everything kind of sounded good. I thought that I heard the fuel pump rhyme, or at least come on, like start to come on. You know what I'm saying? So as long as all that works, I mean, the thing's frozen in time, so we may very well get lucky, but it's a 50-50 shot right now, and I'm a gambling man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna try to get this thing out of here today. I'm gonna try to drive this to my house today, so let's see what we can do. I always do spark plugs by hand, because I don't like to damage things, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like guns and impacts and stuff just kind of freak me out around this kind of stuff, because if you were to strip it out, and I believe this probably has a cast iron head, which doesn't strip as easy as aluminum. I'm used to working on BMWs and stuff, but this thing, I'm sure is pretty stout, honestly. So there's the first plug. Doesn't look too fouled, actually. It looks all right. Got a big old gap in there though, and they're original motor crafts. I wonder how long those have even been in there. Should I change them? Nah. Yeah. That's it. So I'm gonna shoot some mystery oil in there, and then I'm gonna go on to the next one, man. Freaking A. All right, so the way I'm doing this, because I didn't bring a freaking like a turkey baster or anything, like anything to kind of shoot that in there, is I'm just taking a little piece of hose like this, and I put one end in my mouth, one over here, and just kind of pull a little bit in there, and then stick that thing in there and just fucking shoot it right in, dude. Make do with what you got, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna go buy something to go do that right now when I can just freaking make it work. So this is the last cylinder I got to do, that one right there, number two. And then I'm gonna move on to the fuel part, and then just kind of let this sit for a little while. And when I come back, replace those spark plug wires. Really, it needs spark plugs too. It kind of needs everything. So I'm just gonna, but I'm not gonna replace all that crap right now. I'm just gonna start it and see what it needs and see what's good and if it works and whatever else. Because I'm not gonna throw a bunch of money at something that knocks or whatever else, you know. So yeah, let's keep it cracking. All right, so, and I'm back now from freaking AutoZone with a pack of Duralast ignition wire set. So I'm just gonna replace this bank over here, just the ones that I ruined, and just try to get it to crank over with some starting fluid right now. I have determined that the fuel pump's not coming on, so, and I don't hear it coming on. So I'm gonna pop that open and just try to bang on it a little bit, and also just try to loosen it up before I have to replace it. Like, I just don't want to. I want to try to get it loosened up before I have to drop the tank out of this freaking thing, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this thing back together here, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think we're really close. I put the battery in and turned it over a few times. It sounds like it's got perfect compression, like it wants to start perfectly. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and yeah. All right, so this thing is reassembled right now, and I got a little go juice just to see if we can get it to crank, and it's actually the freaking, because I know that's the fuel pump. There's no fuel pressure at the rail. Check it right at the little check valve there. There's no fuel pressure, so it's okay. We can make do with that. So I'm gonna spray some of this freaking little go juice in there. Open this up here. A little extra squirt. All right, hopefully we don't light this thing on fire here. All right. Look at that. Oh, she fucking runs, dude. It runs. That's crazy. Okay, so we're definitely not cutting fuel. Okay. That's sweet. That's amazing. Wow. That's awesome. I'm telling you, man, half these cars that are just sitting around, sometimes they're just sitting around for no reason. They really are. So let me spray a little bit extra in there, and then I'm gonna try to get it to crank and then hop out and freaking see if we can get it to keep running. Too much. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh. Well, this is what you get when you don't have a tripod here, so you know. Okay. So, let's give her a crank. It does run though. All right, let's sort out why the freaking pump's not working. Jesus Christ. Cool. She starts. She starts. Oh, it is working. She starts, dude. Freaking A. So, to try to loosen up this freaking fuel pump, I've got two ideas. One, to bang on the pan. I'm gonna take this key out of this damn thing. I'm gonna take one, I could bang on the freaking, on the whole tank. See if I can get it to loosen up that way, which sometimes they do. Or two, I was thinking about running wires. This is another one of my buddy's ideas. We're gonna run some wires to the fuel pump itself and see if I can just like overpower it and just get it to go. You know what I'm saying? Just put some direct power to it for an extended period of time and just see if I can get it to loosen up real quick. But I think that's what I'm gonna do, honestly, because then I can do a little bit of both. Pretty sure this is the plug to the fuel pump. Pretty sure that's it right there. And I'm gonna double check that, but that very well might be it. And it comes back into here. And unfortunately, I don't think that's a freaking plug. Okay, that thing's fiberglass, so that's nice. Oh no, it's not, it's wool. Looks good. This looks like fiberglass. It's coming apart because I keep fucking with it. Let me get this out of here. Okay. There you go. So, that's cool. Original jack. I'm wondering if this is my fuel pump wiring or not. It might very well be it. It's gotta be it, dude. Should have brought some freaking. Yeah, see, look. Where the hell does this go? Huh. This is definitely fuel pump right here. Yeah, so I'm gonna freaking take this clip off and I'm gonna try to pin this thing. One of them probably goes to the level. Actually, this is all definitely fuel pump stuff for sure. Oh, and it all definitely does go up to there. But if I could get that clip out, I'm gonna pin that, pull that out, pin it, figure out which ones go where, and then try to get some power going to it and just try to get the freaking thing to turn on. We'll see what happens. All right, dude. I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped right now that this thing just cranked over. I really am. But I'm also bummed out that I got to take the tank out of this thing because nothing's working, you know? Not putting power to the pump didn't free it up. Banging on it didn't free it up. None of that shit freed it up. And I didn't really feel myself doing it because I was getting so frustrated, but yeah, none of that shit's working. So I'm gonna go rent a car dolly and tow it back to my house. I'm gonna order a fuel pump off of Rock Auto because they're just a whole lot cheaper. And it will give me, I'll try to have this car back running by next week. You know, I'm gonna order the parts tonight though, so that I have them by freaking Monday at least. I wanna get this thing back to my house and get it done. Get it running, man. I'm really looking forward to this one though. I just want it to crank and I want to just cruise this thing around. I really do. And man, fruitful day. That's pretty cool. I actually put some air in all the tires too. I was really surprised that all of them held air, you know, at least enough to get us out of here. And everything seemed like it was firing good. I kept it running on freaking starting fluid. And I know that it's not really good to run a motor like that. It really isn't, frankly. But it did a good job for what I needed it to do. And I'm pleasantly surprised that this thing went. And you know, it's funny. I was like, when I bought the car, they told me, they were like, oh, it probably hasn't been on the road in like 3 years. And I didn't think. I was like just looking the car over. I didn't really think to look at the last registered date. That's a 14. Look at this, 2013, 12. That says 12. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does, 2012. So, this thing probably hasn't been on the road in 7 years. 7 years, and it cranks and goes. So, freaking A, dude. I'm telling you, that's pretty sweet. So, I'm going to cut the episode off here, you know. Keep up with this build. Keep up with this one. You know, I'm going to, really the plan with this one is I just want to get it back running, and I want to get it looking good, and I want to get it back to be completely factory. I'm going to wash it, buff it, that kind of stuff, and probably just move her on, honestly. It was just, I just wanted to get this thing and save it from the backyard, get it running, and pass it on down the line. So, if you did like this video, please like, share, subscribe. You know, you subscribing really helps the channel grow. And just shooting a freaking like down there or dropping some comments. You know, I am by no means a Fox body professional. I really am not. I just know enough to get in trouble. And I just know enough to do stupid stuff like this, which is buy this kind of stuff. Really what I am, I'm a small independent car dealer here in Florida. And I like to buy and sell enthusiast-based vehicles. And when this one came up, I knew I had to pounce on it because it was really close to my house. And I knew it would be a fun project to start cracking open. And I really have always wanted to own a Fox body. I have a 5-liter Mountaineer right now, all-wheel drive Mountaineer. And I love that truck. I really do. It's what I use for work every single day. And I don't really like Fords, honestly, but I do like this thing. So, you know, it's definitely the right project, and I'm really stoked that I was the one that was bestowed with this thing. So can't wait to get it running. And I just think I need to drop the tank. So on the next episode, we're gonna have the tank dropped, get this thing fired up, get this thing on the road, probably do some tires, and then just kind of clean it up and then show you guys the final product of what, you know, we did with this thing. I can't even believe it. I cannot believe that this thing cranks after sitting for that long, honestly. So yeah, cool, man. I'm really, you know, I really can't believe that it does. So I can't wait. And then next episode, we're going to tow this thing home too. So I'm going to cut this whole thing off here. Thank you guys very much for watching this far, if you have already. And if you know, check out theauctiondawg.com. We got merch on there, got stuff on there. You can keep up with our builds on there. I'm going to list some information about this thing on there. And yeah, man, that's it. Peace out, my dogs.